Hi class, my name's Nina Valencia and this is my cultural artifact speech. Who likes chips and salsa? Do you like it so much that you're guilty of being a double dipper at times? What about guacamole? Does anyone remember what that object is called that your waiter or waitress brings out when you order tableside guacamole at your favorite Mexican restaurant? What is the name of that object that is used to make that delicious guacamole? Do you know? It's called a molcajete. And this is a molcajete. It's a round stone bowl with 3 legs, and it has a smaller stone that is used to grind. So in Spanish, this is called a molcajete. In English, this would be the mortar, and this would be the pestle. Now this here isn't just any old kitchen tool though. This is a piece of Mexican history, and this is an artifact that connects me, a first-generation Mexican American, to my parents' homeland. It connects me to my grandparents and even to my Aztec ancestors. This molcajete is magical. You might wonder why I think a molcajete would be magical and why I would know so much about it. Well, let me give you some background. For starters, I am the first person in my family to be born here in the United States. Both my parents are from Mexico. So what this means is that all my life, I've had to be Mexican for my parents and American for here, my new country. So this molcajete for me represented the glue that holds together my two very opposite worlds. This acts like a bridge that connects my parents' homeland to my homeland. Now, my molcajete represents my Mexican cultural identity. It connects my ancestors with my daughters. And my molcajete helps my daughters remember who they are and where they came from. So where did the molcajete come from? So the molcajete originated 6,000 years ago in Mexico. It was used by both the Aztec and the Maya people. The word molcajete derives from the Aztec language, which is called Nahuatl, and molcajete was molicaxtil in the Nahuatl language. So eventually it evolved into being called a molcajete. So one of the reasons why I consider this so magical is in knowing that this object that was created 6,000 years ago hasn't changed much to present day usage. And what I think I love the most is in knowing that this specific molcajete belonged to my grandmother. My grandmother gave this to my mother gave it to me, and now my daughters use it. And when I see my daughters using it, it almost reminds me of a time travel machine because I see the magic behind it. I see that my daughters are touching this, holding this in the same exact way that I did my mom and their grandmothers. And I only imagine all the ancestors before us. So I think it's pretty magical that the way that we create our spices, our salsas, our guacamoles to serve for our family and friends is the same. It hasn't changed. And I almost imagine that when my daughters are using this, that the spirits of my ancestors are there watching and guiding as we're cooking delicious foods. So for me, that's magical in itself. Now, besides it representing magic, it represents love and tradition. And it also represents the innovative skills of the Aztecs in creating this, and in knowing that 6,000 years later, it's still being used. And one of the things is that although my daughters might not speak Spanish fluently, because being first generation born here, with my husband, I don't speak Spanish very much. So I'm trying to make a more conscious effort to keep the Spanish alive. But one thing that I know for sure is that when I see my daughters using this, a piece of my history and my parents' history will always be alive. So for me, this is magical. So next time you order that tableside guacamole and they bring out the molcajete, just know that you are in the presence of an object that has been around for 6,000 years. And know that you are in the presence of an object that connects the past to the future. So when I tell you that it's magical, or when I say that it's almost a time travel machine, I'm not exaggerating. Because this molcajete represents my ancestors and my future generations. Thank you.